Hi folks, my name is Prashant. So I come with about 15 years of work experience, mostly doing a lot of consulting roles. And so currently I'm working as a senior product manager at Dell Technologies. I'm a certified trainer and facilitator. I come with a lot of solid supply chain experience. When I say supply chain, it involves retail, a lot of automotive experience, it also manufacturing experience, logistics, uh, order management, and so on. So it kind of have end-to-end knowledge, and I'm able to also kind of give you good examples and create case studies around it, right? So I'm also a design thinking coach. So also I travel a lot, and So to beat stress, I usually paint. So I'm a self-taught artist. Um, so I've trained over 400 plus product owners, product managers so far, and these are all somewhere in the experience level of 10 plus years of experience, right? So pretty senior folks trying to get the maximum out of benefit out of the product management knowledge, etc. So at Dell also, what I do right now is coach teams, help them productize faster, help them define vision statements, product strategies, product roadmaps, how to create stories, how to execute, how to conduct user research, and so on. So I pretty much do end to end. So I picked up this product roadmap topic because it's going to be quick. Yeah, it's simple and crisp to work with. So I think that's pretty much what I want to share at this point. Geeta, any other?
Yes, yes, Prashant. Thanks. Thanks for your introduction. We can now surely proceed to your deck, your session. Do you need any assistance?
No, I think I'm good. If I
Okay.
need, I
Okay.
can stop.
Sure.
So, folks, pretty much what I'm trying to do is we'll keep it interactive. Let's say you have any questions on a particular slide, feel free to ask me. If it's going to be too lengthy, then probably we'll take it at the end. But let's say if you have a quick question which I can answer immediately, I will respond immediately. Okay, so keep it interactive. Keep the chats, coming. Also, you can unmute yourself and ask any sort of questions. Okay, I'm free to do that with you folks. All right, and also at the end of the session, we'll have some buffer time, and there is one hands-on activity also. Um the activity is where I will expect you to think a little bit and give me answers. I'm trying to use a medium called a Slido, which will help you also post answers. Okay, so hopefully that is going to work very well this time. I have slightly flaky internet. Apologies for it. There's some power work going on, so that's pretty much. Otherwise, I think we're all set for this. All right. So let's get started on this particular course. This particular session is about creating product roadmaps. I'm sure we are all aware of creating roadmaps. Roadmaps look something like a Gantt chart, or you would have come across roadmaps or project maps or project timeline, which basically talk about what do I need to deliver, at a certain time interval, what quantity of work, what exactly is to be done, who is going to perform the work, and so on. Okay, so these are operational level discussions that you already happened even before product management existed. Before product management existed, there was manufacturing processes, and then IT happened. IT also started following waterfall, agile, and so on. So they also started following a lot of the project management principles and brought in, the classic Gantt chart where you decide what features or stories, etc., need to be delivered in a specific period of time. Okay, so the product management uh, brings in a new layer to this whole dimension. Okay, so now we are going to explore that because what happens is, as a product manager, it's a highly demanding role. You are expected to bring in revenue, you are expected to ensure the success of the product. That means there's a lot riding on you, the kind of decisions you make, the kind of pitches you make, right? you pitch and say, hey, we got to launch this feature and it's going to generate this much revenue because we're going to solve this problem for a particular customer. So the whole session today is about how do you create effective product roadmaps. Let's jump into the session. Okay, so let me hide this quick. Okay, so my first slide is a fun take on product manager personas. So typically you will see product managers can be classified generally into some of these different categories. On the top row, basically I'm talking about all the leaders, kind of product managers who've been extensively doing a lot of product leader work. Then in the mid row, you will see these are mid-level people with about 10 years on an average, experience as product managers. And the bottom row are people who are new to the product management game and trying to learn a lot of new skills. Okay, so this is basically a fun take on product manager personas. But if you see, they all have common goals and aspirations. What are those? Right? So when I interviewed some of the product managers at Dell and outside, the kind of feedback that I got was, hey, as product managers, we want to build meaningful products that really matter to the society. It should make a big change. There were also PMs who told me that, hey, we need to create customer delight. Customer satisfaction, customer delight is what I want to focus on as a product manager. There were people who said, hey, I wish we had the freedom to experiment, because when you experiment, you're also asking for dollar value. Okay, there's some dollar value attached, and if you're asking for money, you got to show people money. Okay, so that's the beauty of experiment. Also, there are a lot of PMs who day in and day out, sweat it out in order to deliver features, okay, through each sprint. So they want to strike a balance between engineering and business teams. There are people who want to achieve business goals. Also, some said we want to solve business or customer problems. Some said we want to influence outcomes. Others said we want the ability to innovate. The common theme among all these different feedbacks is people want to identify problems. People or product managers want to solve or create solutions for these problems. One big thing which I noticed was creating positive outcomes. Outcomes is a new word which really caught my attention. We're going to talk more about outcomes today as we proceed. So far, the first two slides which I showed you is basically to tell you what does the average product manager do, right? And what do they aspire? What are their goals as a product manager? You might be wondering, hey, if I actually happen to work as a product manager, what do I need to do? Where do I fit in? Right? So ultimately, these are the kind of goals that the product manager has and wants to work around it. So if you look at it, if you go to a good product manager, before even this slide, right? If you go to a good product manager, there is also an average product manager. Right? You have both of them in the same room. And let's say the business went to them and said, hey, I want you to, find a solution. Okay. And the problem is, I want you to jump. So if it's an average product manager, the average product manager is going to ask, how high should I jump? What should be the intensity? And look at all the technicalities of the solution that is required in order to have a good jump. What is considered a good jump? What is the SLA? What is the metric which satisfy the business needs? Okay, so as an average product manager, you get into the solutioning part directly. But if you're a good product manager, you firstly need to ask why. Why do I need to jump? What's the purpose of jumping? What are you trying to achieve? What is it that you cannot do or can do without jumping? Is it possible or not possible? Where is the data which tells us that jumping will solve a certain problem? You see how asking the right changes. If you're not talking, please go on mute. So asking the right questions is a good quality of a product manager. Also, it needs a mindset shift, being delivery to more, customer focused. Okay, so you got to bring in more customer centricity. One mute.
Hey, hi Supratik. Are you there? Can you put yourself on mute?
Thank you.
Yeah, Prashant, it's muted now.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, yes, Prashant,
Thanks.
we can hear you.
Thanks. So far, any questions for me, folks? Anything that's quickly coming up on top of your mind you would like to ask? Okay. As we move forward, now let's try to understand what is the role of a product manager. Typically, a lot of the job roles that you see on LinkedIn or any of the job sites these days talk to you a lot on with a product manager designation, but with a lot of inward looking flavor. Means you don't necessarily have to think too much. You have to focus on delivery. You just need to focus on what you're being asked to do. Okay, that's inward looking. That's a traditional way of working for a product owner, business analyst, a scrum master, right? So these are folk, or even a project manager for that matter. Somebody is telling you that, hey, this is how I want a screen to look, or this is what I expect, right? So these are people who are customers or users, potential users, telling you what to do. Then basically you are taker of product requirements. Okay. So when you start collecting requirements, right, user stories, build those epic and user stories, and focus a lot of your time on product requirements, that means you are highly delivery focused, inward looking, which is not a bad thing. Also, you focus heavily on technical solutioning. Suppose somebody is asking you, hey, I need to upload a particular document with X number of fields, which a particular user fills up. Now you're already getting into the technical feasibility discussion. Now you may actually get in contact with a technical architect or a solution architect who then discusses with what are the go on mute, please. Can somebody look at that? Okay, so what happens is you get into the technical solutioning mode. So as a product manager, you're automatically getting yourself tuned to the technicalities of how to deliver the solution. You then end up writing technical user stories as well. You talk about Kafka, you talk about other communication tunnels, you talk about APIs holding a particular kind of data, so on and so forth, which is again not a bad thing. But what is happening is most of your time is consumed in writing requirements, working with technical team in order to create solutioning. Okay, so heavy amount of work gets into technical solution. What is possible, what's not possible. And if multiple teams or multiple products are involved and the experience has to be created, it gets a lot more complex in terms of technical solution. Then comes the feature delivery part, where you have a fixed timeline, you have a certain budget, and you got to utilize the budget, you got to deliver within certain timelines, and therefore you tend to focus on passing on or providing knowledge transfer or grooming your team members. So what's happening is a lot of the time is spent on doing delivery work, where you're focused on stories, solutioning, and final delivery. Now, that is an inward looking approach. A lot of the roles that you see out in the market are inward looking roles. What's missing is the outward looking aspect. The outward looking aspect is what gives you a full dimension of a product manager, how a product manager needs to behave. Okay, you're not merely a taker of requirements, but you can actually become the creator of requirements. What a product manager typically should also be doing is having an outward looking approach. That is, they must be speaking to customers. Who is my target market? What do they think? What kind of problems they face? What are their goals? What are their aspirations? That means when I talk to my customers, that is qualitative user research. Let's say the Amazons of the world or the Googles of the world don't necessarily talk to customers all the time. They have gazillion, bytes of data coming into their databases, and they have so much data to analyze user behavior. So they leverage data to understand why did the customer not buy that particular product, or why did that customer not, go to the payment section and drop the product from the cart. Similarly, they will study other user behaviors. Why is the customer not able to find the right product? Why did the searches not return the right kind of results? Because of which there was a loss of a order being placed by customers. So that is data analysis for you, or that is quantitative research. Understanding the behavior of customers through data is quantitative research. So you will see there are also a lot of data roles available. If you work for the unicorns, for example, the Zomato, Ola, Uber, Facebook, Google, and also a couple of good startups that have come up, they are highly data intensive product roles. What it actually means is they want you to leverage data, understand user behavior, and then create solutions. So you see, a lot of outward looking aspect is important. If you have used the food ordering app Swiggy, there is so much evolution in the way the app has actually transitioned. Similarly, there's another app called Dunzo, which actually started off as an experiment, by creating WhatsApp groups and figuring out if really customers wanted to order something and have it delivered from place X to place Y, which actually became successful and then became a full-fledged product. So now you see Dunzo is a key player in the logistics market. They're able to supply anything from A to B, destination A to destination B. Okay, so this is the power of relying on data, talking to your customers, observing your customers. So this is often discounted in some of the job roles where this kind of role or responsibility is not available. So this is an outward looking quality which is expected, and a lot of startups provide this kind of opportunity. Then comes product strategy. What is product strategy? Product strategy is all about positioning your product. Hey, is it a premium product? Is it a luxury product? Is it a budget product? Is it a mass market product? Is it a food app? Or is it just a logistics app? What is it, right? And then you're creating a value proposition. What is the value that you're actually creating for your users? Who are my competitors? What are the product alternatives that are available in the market, right? So that is product strategy for you. So figuring this piece out is the product strategy piece. So these are all high value inputs and skill sets that you should have. So you are providing high value inputs, right? So you see where the value of a product manager is actually coming out. Then comes the product marketing. You would have also heard about some roles called as growth marketing or growth product managers. These are nothing but product marketing roles where you kind of run campaigns or figure out strategies in order to improve revenue, in order to increase the number of customers being onboarded. It could also be the number of people who download your apps and use your services. So the product marketing is also about, trying to position the product, getting people to subscribe to your product. So that's product marketing for you. So product marketing is also a very glamorous role. You see, these are some of the ways where you can become more outward looking. When you're able to bring these kind of skills, you provide excellent value, not only inward looking, but also with an outward looking kind of skill. Okay. I hope things are clear so far in terms of how a product manager needs to think. And why I'm talking all this even before getting to the product roadmap is product roadmap becomes partly inward looking, partly outward looking. So you have to combine both these different kind of mindsets to create a successful, robust product roadmap. Okay. So here, the point I'm trying to make again is that if you have an inward looking attitude, you should also have an outward looking attitude as a product manager. An outward looking product manager, you're asking questions on who are my customers, what outcomes do they need? And inward looking, when can I deliver the solution? How quickly can I deliver this solution? How cheap can I deliver this solution? And which feature should I deliver first? Right? So these are inward looking kind of aspects. When you bring both these together, then you are able to build a robust product roadmap. So how do you need to think broadly as a product manager? As a product manager, let's say you belong to teams where there are web applications, mobile applications, or some sort of services that you provide. And you don't necessarily work in a startup or a product management ecosystem. You know that there's already some services you're providing. It could be BPO services, it could be education services in terms of, let's say, training and development. It could also be sales and marketing, where you're trying to offer some sort of pre-sales work, customer visits, building pipelines, etc. Right? So you could also be using multiple products there also. So you are working amidst existing products or services. So there may be, what may be missing is a vision statement. Okay, a vision statement is not the vision statement of your company, but the product vision, a team vision. Okay, let me put it this way. It should be a team vision. It should directly translate into a product vision. Okay, until and unless you have a robust product vision, it's very difficult to move ahead, because until vision is, what is vision? Vision is like a lighthouse. Let's say you lose direction, you lose clarity in terms of, hey, what are we out there in the market to create? What kind of problems are we solving? Where are we headed? What do we need to do, right? So if you have a robust vision statement, it's a lot more easier to go ahead, build the right strategy and so on. So let me quickly go back. So if you're able to see this QR code, I want you to quickly scan it and post some good examples of a product vision according to you. Okay. Are you with me? I want you to take out your mobile phones, scan the QR code. There is a link, click on the link, and then you will see this question and then you need to answer it. Is my instruction clear?
Yes, Prashant.
Yeah. Quickly go ahead and start scanning this and then posting. As soon as you scan it, you'll get a link. We will save water. Okay. Let's wait for the others. Come on, folks. Get on it, participate. That's how you will learn quickly. I see only one person so far. Come on. Yeah, two. To organize the world's information. Okay. WhatsApp sharing simplified. Okay. Okay. We will deliver food to the customer in the fast and the most convenient way possible. link to land. Okay, nice, nice. To build great project management tools that can be used across industries. Okay. Right. So these are some interesting ones. Everybody should post. So your mind starts working. Your mind starts working, and you feel good that you're participating. Right? Keep posting. Keep posting. Come on. We will save water to organize world's information. Okay. WhatsApp sharing simplified. We will deliver food, linked land, affordable living. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So I see some really good vision statements. Let's pick one first. The first one says, we will save water. Okay, we will save water. There should be a little more context to it. You want to save water. What exactly do you mean by saving water? No, it's got to be, your vision statement has got to be. Let me give you some of the attributes of a good vision statement. A vision statement will be valid even after 15-20 years. A vision statement is long term, so it is valid. It is free from technology. It is free from any sort of process jargons, technology jargons. You will not say, I want to create a product running on AI ML or data platform, or I will not say product management tool or Salesforce platform. You know, these technicalities, etc. Today, AI ML exists. Today, Salesforce exists. Tomorrow, something else will come up. So your product vision will cease to exist. So your product vision must be long-term, and even after 15-20 years, when you refer back to the vision statement, it should make perfect sense, right? Also, for example,
Hello, Prashant. Actually, your voice is breaking.
Cashless and of some seamless customers.
Hi everyone. I think he'll connect again. Just 2 minutes, huh? Hi, he's trying to reconnect. He's in Bangalore. He's facing rains and he's facing some connectivity issue.
Apologies for dropping off like that. Sorry about the net issues. So going back to our discussion, right? So the vision statement so far that we discussed, if you see, you're able to see my screen. We need
Yes.
Yeah. So you see, vision statements like we feed the world and ensure no one goes hungry. It's good, but you don't say so only thing you need to do is you got to restructure, reposition your vision statement. What you're trying to do is basically solve hunger problems, right, in the world. So you want to create a vision statement like we feed the world and ensure no one goes hungry. Mm, how can you improve this vision statement?
So if I had to take a jab at it, I would say end world hunger by whatever, like a year. Like if you don't add the year, it will be just a mission. If you add, then you have specific goal. So end world hunger would be.
Ending world hunger is the right way to proceed because it's aspirational. Also, vision statement is non-achievable. So something vision statement is usually not achievable because if you achieve the vision target or if you achieve the vision, it no more remains a vision. So vision is usually idealistic in nature, right? Very difficult to attain, but what it does is it gives you the fuel to move in that direction. So vision statement has to be always aspirational, like eradicating world hunger or ending world hunger, which is not a possibility in totality, right? Similarly, healthcare of an immense importance to mankind. Now, how can you reframe it? So, okay, you're in the business of healthcare, but you want to create uh, what are you basically looking for? Are you in the pharma space or are you into the whole wellness side of things? Then you need to create better experiences for in the healthcare space, or you can say seamless experience in the wellness space, right? Or creating a world-class experience in the healthcare space, right? Or you want to be a leader in the healthcare space. So these are some of the vision statements you can look at, right? Uh, Let me take one more example. For example, somebody said, help unleash the potential of every team. Well, this is a good statement. Okay. Instead of saying help unleash, it should be unleashing or creating a world-class experience for teams to deliver limitless, to discover limitless potential or something like that. So it's very inspiring. It actually energizes you. Why I'm saying all this is it has an impact on your product roadmap. Okay, affordable living, you need to just structure it a little bit. Creating affordable living, or let's say ensuring world class affordable solutions for the middle class families across the world. So you see, that's a very specific, but the space is too big. The space is too big for you to even explore in your lifetime, right? So even if you say middle class for the world and keep it affordable, so you're also being specific. At the same time, there is enough scope for you for the next 30, 40, or even more. Even for the next 100 years, this will still be valid. So you got to check if the vision statement is time tested. WhatsApp sharing simplified. Okay, so I think you got to tweak that. To organize the world's information is a great vision statement. It's just that you need to tweak it a little bit to say what kind of world information. Is there something specific, or are you like going all out for all kind of world's information? Okay. Organizing. What do you exactly mean by organizing? So here what's happening is we are looking at very solution oriented approaches like organizing, delivering, putting something in place or saving. So these are all actions, right? But we should also focus on outcomes. When I say organizing the world information, what outcomes do I want to enable? If you're organizing some world's information, what world information, what aspect of it? What do you want the customers to do with that information? Who are the customers? What problems are you solving for? This is important. Okay, so here you're looking at healthcare, better financial life for everyone. Okay, this is good. It's got to be a little more inspiring. Better financial life for everyone. Now, again, financial life is too broad. Let's say you're a startup in the fintech space, and maybe you're in the lending space. And your vision statement will be a subset of this financial life. Let's say you're in the business of providing financial services for only women. Then your tagline or your vision statement is going to be different. Not a tagline, sorry. Vision statement is going to be entirely different. Okay, as we speak about it, let's revisit the previous slide. Coming back, how does a vision statement work? A vision statement always, if you're a product manager, you bring the entire team. I've seen product managers who build vision statements by themselves, or just talk to one or two people, build the vision statements, and then try to sell it to the team. It won't work. A vision statement is a team-owned vision statement. Everybody has to buy into it. Only then will you be able to have discussions around what is the next big thing that we need to build for this product. Okay, so that's very important for you. A lot of the product managers don't do a good job of creating a good vision statement. It involves collaborative effort of bringing your developers, your testers, your business people, your leaders, everyone into into the loop, right? If you don't, you may not necessarily bring your leaders at the first go. Do it with your Scrum team or do it with your product team, and then take it outward. Get feedback, keep improving it. Okay, that's a good quality of a product manager. You always start with a draft. There's a saying in lean startup: release quick, release dirty. Don't wait to perfect things. Release quick, release dirty. That's the vision part. Then comes the strategy part. Strategy part is where you decide, hey, okay, we are in the wellness industry. We want to create world-class wellness services for people on Earth, right? Or you want to create world-class wellness experience for humans. When you say world-class wellness experience, you'll say, hey, okay, wellness. What exactly is wellness? Are we providing drugs? Are we providing pharma? Are we in the pharma space? Are we in the space of spirituality, meditation? Are we in the space of hospitals and other kind of services? So what aspect of it are we kind of managing, right? So that's your strategy discussion. And then you'll figure out, hey, we want to be in the pharma space, or we want to do this to start with. And then as we move over the years, we'll kind of also start adding other layers. So that's your strategy piece. What do we do to realize the vision, and so on? Okay, vision is decades, multiple decades. It says multiple decades. It can exist for a lifetime. Okay, vision statements don't change. You need to figure that out. Create a good product vision. You will figure it out when you start working with your team. You'll get a hang of it. Keep it free from jargons, etc. Then comes the strategy piece, where you break it down further. In the next 5 years or the next 1 year, what do we want to do? So when you have created a vision statement, what happens next is you say, okay, let me say this. Okay, let's say the vision statement is creating a world-class payment experience for our customers. Then as a team, you finalize the vision statement, then ask, hey, how do you create a world-class payment experience for your customers? And then people start throwing out ideas. Hey, we can create UPI, we can create cashless, we can do Bitcoin, we can do cloud computing, we can do this, we can do that, and whatnot, right? So you may get about 100, 150 different ideas. And what you then do is try to put it into categorized buckets. Then you create general categories and then put them into different buckets. And then you see that you actually kind of, a lot of the ideas are similar meaning. So you kind of combine them. Some of them you discard, some of them you keep it, or some of them you combine. So this way you're actually reducing the number of inputs that you have received. And finally, you will end up with about 60 different ideas or features that you can have in your world-class experience, product, which creates a world-class experience. Now you have enough ammunition to work and create a better product for the next 10 to 15 years easily. So you see, as a product manager, you've directly created magic there. You've created some sort of a sense of vision, a sense of long-sightedness, not long-sightedness, a sense of long-term vision, where for the next 10, 15 years, where is your product headed? So this is how you become product leaders in the market. You know what you need to achieve. And then slowly over the years, you keep sensing the market and changing accordingly. Then you know which features to launch first, which features to launch next. So you see, the vision actually gives you the fuel to know in which direction to head. That's your strat. And then comes the strategy piece. Then in this year, I need to deliver 2 good features. Then you'll go, kind of aim at MVP, which is your minimum viable product, or you'll say, hey, these 2 features will really work. It's like this, right? So if I'm creating a app for Aadhaar application, okay, so what do I need to do? I need some basic information. I need maybe a PAN card or some sort of ID number. I need ID number. I need your full name. I need a form which basically captures basic information about the customers. All right. So that is my MVP first. I just add that information, and that is the one screen which I want to deliver first. And that may take a considerable amount of effort. So that is my MVP. So I figured out that 1 page enrollment screen is what I need. So that could be my strategy for the first 3-4 months, trying to fix and things like that. Then comes the roadmap, right? Once the strategy is there, then the roadmap. The roadmap has timelines. It has different pieces. We'll quickly walk through. Then it comes the backlog piece. That's when the backlog comes in, not when you don't take the backlog and put it in your roadmap, right? Typically, what you will see is most of them load your roadmap with a lot of user stories, features, epics, and so on, and then say, hey, this is what I'm going to deliver. What this is doing is making you so much inward focused. So you want to move out of that. So roadmap happens even before the backlog happens, because you are the creator of requirements. You are the person who's envisioning how the product must move forward. The backlog comes later. Backlogs happen much later, where you create the epics or features and then give it to your product owners, business analysts, or the tech team to create further stories, create tasks, and then start coding, designing, coding, and so on, testing, so on. Okay. So this is what happens. We're back here. Typically what happens, this is a feature loaded roadmap. There's a lot of traffic happening here. This is a software called AHA. I'm going to mention this again. This is one good software to create a product roadmap. On mute, please. So this is pretty crowded if you see, and gives you very little clarity, and it gives you a sense of urgency in terms of, hey, we need to churn out all these features within XYZ time. So, right. So this creates a sense of urgency, and you lose focus. And here again, you could use GitLab. So you could use GitLab. This is another roadmap technique. But see, there's a lot going on here. It actually puts you in a sort of stress mode, figuring out what to deliver. There's also a very super simplified way of demonstrating roadmaps, where you're saying now, next, later, and then you are saying, hey, I want to develop revenue. So I want to ensure revenue happens. Search and listing page is what we want to create now. We want to create single sign-on. How do customers log in, etc. Then we want to create homepage redesigning, then badgification, blah blah blah, and then you basically giving a high-level gist of it. This also is great, but not awesome. You're still getting to the awesome roadmap. So this is an awesome roadmap, which is a data-driven roadmap. It's an outcome-based roadmap. Remember, the outcome-based roadmaps work like this, right? Let me quickly go back and explain to you what is an outcome. So here, this is what is outcome, right? The way a thing turns out or a consequence is an outcome. It's different from output. How many stories I delivered in a sprint is an output. What are the kind of outcomes I'm enabling for my customers? Can my customers shop better? Can they reduce the amount of time that they spend to shop a particular product? Can they find a product very easily? What is the order cycle time? So these are the certain outcomes that you should be looking at. So if you see, there was an example of improved sexual health in community A. This is the kind of outcome you're looking for. In order to achieve these outcomes, nurses, share a lot of knowledge. They also distribute contraceptives, and then that also means the next activity that.
Hi, Prashant. I think you are. I think you. The screen is not shared.
Screen is not shared.
No, Arihant, we can see it. Maybe just see if you can change your layout and come back. We're able to see.
Are you able to see now?
It's visible to me. Is it visible, everyone? Can somebody just write on chat?
Yeah,
It's visible. It's
I'm
visible.
sorry. I think I'm sorry for that. Yeah, it's visible.
Okay.
We try
okay,
rejoining.
Okay, so here we are. Okay, so as we continue, right? So you're looking at how outcomes become outputs. So I'm showing this slide so you don't confuse output versus outcome. So as a product manager and outward looking product manager, you got to focus on outcomes first. You got to create the big picture. You got to create, hey, what do I am trying to enable for the customer? Most of the time, the product managers miss out on this because you're so much in a hurry to churn out features, you lose sight of it. So here we're talking about outputs. Let's say nurse distributes contraceptive, etc. This is an output, right? And then you say, I need to deliver within 3 months. I need to deliver so many blah, 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 and all that. But then activities, give nurse full access to contraceptives, acquire family planning contraceptives, blah, blah, blah. So it's basically a work breakdown structure of sorts. So let me give you another example. So if it's an industry like health, output will be supplied 2,000, I put a dot by mistake, supply 2,000 vials of vaccines to families in rural India. It's basically you're doing an activity, okay? You're delivering a piece of, it's like a task. Output is more like a task, and therefore you're delivering it. So it doesn't necessarily translate to anything. What you should be actually aiming at is, what should I do to enable or create lower COVID outbreaks? Then you will see, in order to lower COVID outbreaks and increase life expectancy, one of the many things that you can do is supply vaccine. You can also look at masks. You can also say set up healthcare centers, blah, 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 right? You see how it is? You first define the outcome, then you get a lot more clarity on what you need to do. Without an outcome, you suffer in terms of, hey, finance told me to deliver this feature because he's a very powerful person and they are pushing to deliver this feature. Or procurement is saying, hey, they're going to fund this, you need to deliver. So, pressure coming to you with an offer is no method. So when a lot of them tell you that product managers need to say no, you need to be able to say that logically. That logic comes from, if it's not focused on outcomes, you will succumb to outputs. And that's what they say, right? As a product manager, you need to be able to say no to a lot of things. Why? Because it's not in alignment with your vision. It's not in alignment with your product strategy. It's not in alignment with the outcomes that you're trying to create for your customers or users. Similarly, you're training 200 primary teachers is one of the outputs. What you're actually trying to achieve is outcomes is improved learning outcomes for school children. How can I do that? I'll train teachers. I'll provide them more notebooks. I'll provide them free lunch, so on and so forth. Are outputs, again, you will see, will have a lot of numbers. Outcomes will usually not have numbers, okay? Because then outputs become very task oriented and it is very time bound. These usually will convert into features and stories and so on. Societies release a research paper on ethics of AI/ML. Okay, I released 20 research papers were released in the last 6 months on ethics of AI/ML. But what it actually says is you want to ensure safer societies, lower accidents, or reduce number of incidents with machines and robots. Something like that is the outcomes, right? Manufacture 15,000 electric scooters, like Ola came up with that, every 1 second or every 4 seconds, they're able to book an Ola or whatnot. That number is basically your output. Outcomes that you're trying to create is basically lower cost of ownership, lower levels of pollution. Okay, those are the kind of outcomes. If you're driven by outcomes, you are able to focus a lot more and you'll have a lot more control over, how the product must move forward. You'll also ensure success of the product. So let's quickly take a stab at this, right? Now, let's say it's a security install 250 CCTV cameras in ward area. What are the outcomes you're trying to enable? Quickly, reduce crime rates, correct? Yes. Then let's look at distributed 2.5 lakh laptops in the state. What is the kind of outcome you're trying to actually achieve? It's actually not from output to outcome, but I'm just trying to help you move both ways. It always starts with outcome. Let's say I want to improve the literacy rate, or let's say I want to improve the pass percentage in Uttar Pradesh. So then you will see that a lot of laptop distribution happens in the state so that students are exposed to modern ways of learning. They have better ways to connect and still continue learning and so on. Improved, learning outcomes and so on. Distributed garbage bins to housing societies a task. Outcomes are ensuring cleaner societies. I hope you're getting the point. Now, quickly, we will focus on a matrimony case, right? So that we are driving home the point. We are getting to the point where how do we create outcome-based roadmaps? Going back to this point, here, outcome-based roadmaps is basically you start with outcomes. What you see here is 1, 2, 3 are time intervals. 1, 2, 3 could be in months. It could be in weeks. It could also be in quarter-wise, right? So depending on how quickly or how often you release, your time interval will vary. Okay, that's up to you. Outcomes is what you need to define first. So when I'm training product managers, I'm always telling first define the outcomes, don't jump to the features. Because it so happens that it's human tendency that you identify a solution and then you try to retrofit the problem to suit your solution. मैं इसको automate कर दूंगा. Okay, I will add AI/ML, I will do Elasticsearch, I will do this. So you see, if you're in the IT space, most of you are so solution oriented that you already thought about a solution for the problem. No, इसको automate कर देंगे तो हो जाएगा. Or we will do like this will work out. You see, you are coming already from a solution. You're not wanting to spend time with the problem. Spending time with the problem, understanding what outcomes you can create is very, very important. So focus on outcomes. Here probably you're saying ability to handle system failure, which is not a nicely defined outcome. We'll come to that. But what I want to tell you is define outcomes. Okay, let's say you define one outcome. Ensure that there is a feature. You're saying this feature will enable this outcome. How will you ensure that this feature will deliver this outcome is through a corresponding metric or a KPI. This metric will tell me whether this particular feature will help me achieve that kind of this thing. Now, let's say I will say, hey, let's create this new Autobot feature, which will ensure we reduce the customer complaints or resolution time by 25%. The outcome will be reduced customer or problem resolution rate. You see, and also increased customer satisfaction. These are outcomes. Reduced problem resolution rate and also or cycle time. Reduced problem resolution cycle time and improved customer satisfaction are outcomes. It does not have a number. Or sometimes it can have, but then you bring that into success metrics. Then you will say, I need to build Autobot feature. So you see how you're going to pitch as a product manager. I want to reduce the problem resolution cycle time. I want to increase the customer satisfaction. How is this coming? My data analytics or analysis tells me that there's a huge complaint or lot of tickets on an average time taken to close a ticket is 2 days. And that is creating high level of customer satisfaction. That is leading to a lot of people quitting our services or not using our product. Therefore, if you build this Autobot feature, it will reduce our customer complaints by 20%. It will also improve the problem resolution cycle time, reduce the problem resolution cycle time by 25%. So you see, that's the story, data storytelling that you will create. Then you will say, therefore, we need to build this awesome Autobot feature and we'll ensure these are the outcomes. How will we ensure this really happens? We will have a metric where you will say, problem resolution cycle time is a metric. Then you will do some baselining to say problem resolution cycle time on an average is about 18 hours. I want to bring that down by 25%. So my baseline is 18 hours, average time taken to close a ticket. So you see, I have a metric, I have a cycle time, baseline. When I build this feature, when I launch it, and when customers start to use it, I'm collecting data. As I collect data after 1 or 2 months, I again check with the baseline to see if we have actually reduced it from 18 hours to maybe 10 hours. That is an objective way, a data-driven method to confirm that yes, this feature is actually creating these kind of outcomes. Else, it's all a cock and bull story where you're just trying to create a fairy tale story that this awesome feature will create this or this will do this without data. If you cannot quantify anything, that you're not doing a good job. As a product manager, you need to know to quantify a problem. You need to know to quantify, outcomes of a feature. Okay. I hope you're sufficiently understanding what I'm trying to say, that you first talk outcomes, then you say, this is the feature which will enable these outcomes. And then how will you ensure? You got to use metrics, do data analysis and do baselining and keep measuring this on a regular basis, weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever is the rate. Usually it's weekly or bi-weekly or monthly max. If you're going to stretch it beyond that, the interval, then you lose sight. Okay, so when you measure this regularly, you know whether it's working or not. And then you know through data what to tweak in the future. It's $2 million worth, but the kind of metrics is not really helping. It's not going up or reducing the cycle time. Then you will end up tweaking it. Then you will keep releasing the feature by small improvements. Then you will see your success metrics will actually improve. So this is the kind of tweaking that you will continue to do till the right values. This is how a data-driven product management happens. With this, you can run the entire show very nicely. You know, you are writing, you are addressing Jira, you know, clarifying requirements, all will keep on happening. That's operational work. But if you lose sight of, you know, this data-driven approach way of product roadmap, then you lose sight of things. Okay. So this is a typical. Vinita, do we have another 10 minutes? Can you do that?
Sure, sure. Sure,
Okay.
Prashant.
Okay, so this is a case study on Indian Matrimony site. So I brought this up because it's very generic and it's easy to connect, and so that you can also come up with some ideas, right, on how to work on this. What usually happens with an Indian matrimony site is this choice of profiles. These are the kind of features, you know, that's expected. Increased choice of profiles, level of security should be high, easy registration, matching profile facilities, safe and secure, user-friendly searches, success stories, so that you can rely on something and so on. Okay. Then I want to expose you to some a small case, right? So let's say this is a problem you want to solve for your customers. So what's happening these days is, hypothetically, this is a scenario, right, where as product managers, you're working for, let's say, Bharat Matrimony, and then you are actually given this problem statement. Hey, right now in the market, there's a lot of cheating that's happening, right? A lot of fake NRIs, they're cheating women, or women are cheating men, and so on, right? And so a lot of atrocities are happening. So this could also be because, hey, we met on shadi.com or indianmatrimony.com, and we felt it was all good. Everything looked genuine. And from there, I don't know what happened. We couldn't really figure out. So you see, this is a great opportunity for matrimony sites to ease the tension, ease the friction in the entire process. So if you see, if I'm somebody who is a potential groom, I will go start looking for my life partner, and then I figure out, you know, after I find the partner on the site, it's actually fake. So it's a dent on the brand as well. So they say, hey, these matrimony sites are not really doing a great job. So that's a great opportunity for a product manager to do something. So here, this is a great opportunity to quickly introspect. Right now, let's look at what are the kind of outcomes we can create for this kind of a problem. So I leave the floor open for inputs from you folks. Take a stab at it, even if it's a little weird. That's fine. What are the kind of outcomes you want to create? Right now, let's say, okay, start thinking features, and then try to see what kind of outcomes you want to actually enable. So this is around fraud, right? How can I, so the problem statement is more around how can I make my matrimony site more secure and free from fraud? How can I provide a more trustworthy experience for my customers on the matrimony site? What will you do? What kind of features can you build?
Maybe we can start with improving our fraud detection solution for this application. There could be like many solutions, but we can like have pick one of the outcome.
Okay, you said
improving our fraud.
Okay, fraud detection.
Yeah.
Solution is a okay. So then, what are the
like the outcome will be improving our fraud detection solutions, right? And in features, we can add Aadhaar verification and also an OTP mobile verification.
Here, I want to quickly stop you. So what's happening here is you are focused on application. You are focused on You have to create outcomes with customer in mind. What outcomes for users or customers? When I say customers, your users. So basically, I want to improve the trust, right? I want to improve the trust quotient, or I want to improve the NPS score. Let's say
exactly.
improved NPS score, correct? Because then you need to translate it to something more meaningful. When I say trust, how will you measure? You will probably, post a poll saying, how do you rate our product on a scale of 1 to 10 on security?
Yeah.
Say it's only 3. Then you'll say, I want to improve the trustworthiness on improve the customer's trustworthiness. Correct, no? Then
Got it.
I want to build fraud analytics. What aspect of fraud analytics? Okay, you'll say fraud analytics as a feature. You leverage current data to figure out how many such fraud profiles exist. Correct?
Yeah.
It's an awesome way to immediately clean up all the junk that exists in your product. That's a really good solution, actually. Fraud analytics. So you're saying, hey, current NPS scores, checked over 60 lakh is too much, maybe 15 lakh users show that scoring our application or our product at 4.5 on trustworthiness. Some of the customers who were interviewed reported that there were a lot of fake profiles or duplicate profiles. Some of the profiles, some of the necessary details. So you see, this kind of builds up a good story, and then you will say 24,000 such profiles were duplicates. 40,000 such profiles did not have images. So like that, you will create a great story before you ask your investors to invest, right? So that's where you're building a lot of steam to promote your feature, and then you're connecting it back to outcomes. So if you are able to manage all this, you will see that the number of people who have quit our product or uninstalled our product, we've lost 20% of our customers because of this, which is resulting in X million dollars worth of revenue for us.
Exactly.
This feature becomes an immediate need, and therefore we need to build it. And some of the success metrics we want to measure is, we'll look at NPS score, we will look at onboarding rate or the download rate of apps, right? We will also look at some other lifetime value of customer and so on. You will also look at number of successful searches or things like that, right? What else can we think of? Imagine
another point which comes into my mind is like there could be a user who is verified, but they have been like using the app, they are misusing the app, like they are like cheating their matches or like playing some, like they're not following the community rules of our application. So there might be some feature to report such users who are doing such malpractices. So this thing will also like improve the trust of our users. But I have this question: should I like include this in the feature section of our first outcome, or shall I create this as another outcome, like a similar one? Like if you can give me some clarity.
That's a great question. So what happens is, if you have such questions, you can throw it out in front of your team, saying, hey, these are some of the awesome features that we're thinking of building. What are the technical feasibilities? How quickly can we build a particular feature, right? And then you kind of debate it out and then figure out what are the business impact, how much effort it takes, and so on and so forth. So always, when in doubt, involve your team, involve multiple stakeholders, get feedback. Okay, and then you analyze, look at data. So basically, you're analyzing data to support your claim. You're also checking with your team. They may have some already expertise, so they will also try to add to it. And then you figure out whether should I launch fraud analytics. Analytics itself is a big piece. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you will identify maybe a small component of the fraud analytics is what I want to launch in the first. Then I will bring different pieces in multiple, releases. At the same time, I want to add a feature called report abuse, or I will say profile. Okay, so that's a feature I want to add. What this actually does is it increases, one is the trustworthiness, it increases the safety, security of profiles. Also, what this does is, and then you can also look at reduce the number of complaints and so on. So I think I'll leave it to you now. Folks, anybody else who wants to take a stab at this? Quickly, what else can you build?
Yeah, Prashant, Bharat here. So the way we have verification when we join an organization, maybe we can do a background verification on multiple dimensions such as education, family, employment, financials, criminal, etc.
Awesome, awesome. That's a great feature. Really, I tell you, that's a great feature. That's one of the features I was thinking about. Even while onboarding customers, have something more secure so that at the onboarding level itself, you qualify to a certain feature, whether this particular profile is suitable to be on your platform or not. This is an awesome pitch for your customers to say all our profiles are done with 25-point check on background verification. It is highly verified, and therefore our premium services comes at a expensive cost, okay, at a cost, because we do all this so that it saves you the hassle of getting into any sort of legal issues and other things and blah blah blah. So that's a great way to pitch. Imagine if you had to start by including Aadhaar card, doing background information verification, profile police verification and whatnot, and you're also checking, getting a health checkup done, get a 250-point health checkup done before even onboarding the profile. You say, hey, this is a healthy profile, blah 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 blah. Okay, that's maybe slightly funny, but you see how you can bring more value, right? So at the onboarding stage, that's a very good feature actually. So you're increasing again trust there. What else can we do, folks? One last input I will take before we switch. And
can we add some sort of guarantor profile, like someone is already on profile with that particular portal, and maybe that may guarantee someone else that yes, may take a responsibility that this is a
yeah. So can you use AI/ML to figure out face recognition, right? Figure out if there's a face recognition. Sometimes I can register as Ranjit and then as Prakash or somebody, and use fake Aadhaar card and all that stuff. So even if I'm able to beat some of the algorithm, can I use AI/ML to do facial recognition or some sort of thing, right? So it increases the security feature involved. Correct?
I had a different viewpoint with this. Like, if someone is already registered with that, if he recommend someone, or they may linked with that it is a taking guarantee that it is someone's reference. So it may be like
okay, referrals as such, and then
yeah,
probably what do you call that? Recommendations and references.
Yeah.
Right. That's a reasonable feature. Which will,
or maybe like multiple like not single person, like let us suppose I'm going to register myself, so I also add someone else like identity, like whosoever, like my father is also there, so it would be 2-level verification, and that 2 members are getting verified.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a very practical way of kind of establishing trust. So before we run out of time, I want to quickly give you an idea of where it's happening. So outcomes, let's say I want to do secure onboarding. Okay, I want to improve the security or the onboarding experience. I want to provide a better or more secure onboarding experience. So what I do Aadhaar, social security number. I would probably even do geolocation tagging. Okay, that's a bit extreme, but then let's say I want to track somebody, and then say he mentions California, but he's actually in some place in Sri Lanka. Then that's not working out, right? So you're doing a geolocation tagging. Then you're doing success metrics. What are the success metrics? You're looking at number of other registrations going up. So what this actually does is, that the number of profiles now are increasing with other registrations. You can use this numbers to talk to your customers, potential customers, and say, hey, but every profile is Aadhaar verified. And then you're also looking at geo tagging as an option for premium services, right? So then you're also using count of successful geo tagging. Some work, some don't work, and sometimes you put them in a loop until and unless they don't provide a proper geo tagging, the profile does not move forward or cannot create an account. So some of it may be really wild ideas, but that's okay. This is just to drive home the point. Second thing is, you're telling outcomes like improved trust, increased profile shortlisting. Currently, what's happening? Too much search is happening, but profiles are not being shortlisted. That's because people are scared, no images, not enough information. So they're just looking through profiles, but not enough information to really shortlist. How can I improve that experience? Secure tagging of profiles, 100% verified profiles. Somebody said we need to do 100% background check. That's a good feature. So this is that feature which will do that. And then what happens is, average profile shortlisting cycle time or profile shortlisting time is what you want to capture. Okay, or you want to say number of shortlists per session, count of shortlists per session. Earlier I used to do 1 or 2 profiles are shortlisted per session. Now I can do about 7 or 8, which is a good number, which creates a better experience for customers. Customers are on the site and seeing better matches, better fit, right? So they're loving the product. So they're able to get maximum out of the product. Now see, that's how you got to think like a product manager. Third part is the outcomes, which talks about reduced instances of marriage fraud. What can you do, right? Currently, a lot of them come back and say, hey, because of using your matrimony sites, we have to go for legal hassles. And a lot of them even come back with a lot of complaints, right? Then sometimes you have to bring down some profiles because it's fraud, because some customer raised a complaint and so on. So you want to reduce the number of instances. So you also provide something called reconciliation services or legal assist as an add-on service, as premium services. Or then you will say number of successful resolutions. You're going to bring down the number of tickets or complaints that are coming to you. That's a good success metric to have. So you can actually play around, toy around with this idea. When you have a lot of ideas, bring it in front of the team, discuss it, get feedback from stakeholders, support it with data. Without data, don't go on hunches, look for data. So that's a good data-driven product roadmap. Okay, this is a complete roadmap which talks about outcomes, features, success metrics. Metrics is all data. So this is what is called data-driven roadmap. With data, with outcomes, you understand which feature to deliver. Then you are in much more control as a product manager. Okay, so typically what happens if you just churn out requirements, this is how a matrimony site, what all it can have. It can have all these features, So if you're inward focused, you'll be thinking about all these features. Hey, and then you'll build up and then say, when can I deliver this? When can I deliver this? When can I deliver this? So you see how much this is all your backlog. Basically your backlog, if you push all this in your roadmap, then it's not really making sense. So don't try to push your backlog into the roadmap. Have more outcome focused, approach. You can do this, but this is going to drive you nuts. So some of the product roadmap tools which are really good to use have good user experience as well. Some of them are really are freeware, so you have some trial version. So try it out, experiment it. You can even use the Matrimony case study or figure out some case studies. See what happens when you do such things. And if you can download some of the roadmaps that you've created, the form of PDFs, PPT, etc., you can use that as demonstrable assets to show to your potential customers or potential employers saying that, hey, I'm an awesome product manager and these are some of my works. Here, this is a practical example to show that I can actually deliver awesome roadmaps. I can create awesome roadmaps, and these are the different kind of tools I've used. So you see, I'm coming with a lot of knowledge on technology, tools, and creating awesome data-driven roadmaps. So I'm also data-driven. So this kind of demonstrates no more your resumes are proof that you are an awesome product manager. Resumes are dead. When I interview candidates who are 10 years, 15 years experienced product managers, or even 20 plus years of experience as product managers, we put them through a really grilling, 90-minute, 2-hour sessions to figure out if that product manager really has something in them, right? So the demonstrable assets are very, very important to demonstrate that. So people are testing out, checking you out through demonstrable assets. Resumes no more do anything for you. So create those demonstrable assets, use these tools, create content. What I will say in simple language, create as much content, create as much artifacts as you can, put it out there, put it in your Google Cloud. Let's say along with your resume, send a link. Or let's say you're talking to a potential employee, you send this link. There's a great way to connect and say, hey, okay, this person has actually done so much work. So aha.io is a great one, which talks basically right from creating a vision statement, creating product strategy, persona, user journey, whatnot, everything till delivery. Aha.io is good. Trello is again very friendly. I really liked it. It also helps you manage a lot of your tasks very well. Product plan is also good. Jira is of course very classic, but it is focused heavily on delivery, but it also gives you some scope If your company is using Jira, try to play around with it. Try to get some admin rights, and then you'll see you'll have a lot more features to play around with. GitLab is again very developer focused, but if you're somebody who's a technical person, would want to leverage GitLab. Roadmonk is also good. It's pretty new. It's very nice. So I would like to end this session by, was there a question? No, right? Okay, so some of the best practices for roadmap, right? So while building and maintaining a product roadmap, it has to be ongoing. So your metrics may keep changing every month because you may drop some of the metrics. It's not working for you. Then you pick new metrics. What you're doing with metrics is you're trying to control. It's like using your brake accelerator, okay? Slowly adjusting to how the vehicle is turning and in what. Okay, so use your metrics, keep dropping them, keep changing the baseline. That is only include as much detail as necessary. Yes, you talk outcomes, you talk features, you talk with good amount of data and tell a good story. That's more than enough. You don't into your requirement level explaining, hey, that user will log in, motivation, blah 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 blah. This will drive your investors or leaders crazy. Data-driven roadmap, very important. Review roadmaps on a regular basis. Like I told you, there's a concept called build, measure, learn. You build a product, launch it, collect the data, analyze if you're going the right direction, tweak it, and then move forward. Okay? Review roadmap, regular basis. Make sure everyone has access to the roadmap. Yes, roadmap. All the team members, leaders, everybody must. Don't like keep it in secretly somewhere and say, hey, I'm an awesome product manager without exposing it to everybody. You got to expose. And don't be shy to learn from feedback. Stay connected with your stakeholders at all levels. So let's say you have internal users as your customers. Keep talking to them on a quarterly basis. If you have customers outside, obviously you'll be doing a lot of surveys. You'll be talking to customers, all leveraging data to understand. So that's pretty much what I had to cover today as part of data-driven roadmap exercise.